Thank you indeed, Congressman Kennedy. Very inspiring. I came to this subject just a few years ago, working as a consultant to a law firm that was looking at the question of whether to take the MEK off the terrorism list. And the optic that I saw this group through was the US government optic, and the think tanks, and the media. And they all said the same thing, almost word for word. The MEK were terrorists, they were violent, they were a cult, they could not be trusted. They had a strange ideology that no one understood, that mixed Marxism and Islam, and we shouldn't have anything to do with them. Well, that was interesting. I looked at the facts and found that many of the things, in fact, all of the allegations, had been exaggerated, invented, and propagandized. And the more I learned about this subject, going back 50 years, was that there's a culture in the government. Both the Shah and the mullahs use propaganda. They do exaggerate. But I mention these things because it's quite interesting that as we sit here today, if you go to France, you see that the government knows the PMOI very well. They treat them as a political part of their culture. If you go to the UK, there are strong supporters in both houses of parliament. If you look at the European Union, the same thing. The German intelligence, the Dutch intelligence, they talk about how the regime tries to demonize this group and invent falsehoods and place people in positions of influence in the West to tell untruths about their past. The only place this hasn't happened, the only place that the falsehoods haven't been fully is probably Washington, D.C. One Washington will understand that the French magistrate who investigated that raid in Paris in 2003 concluded an 8-year investigation and said there are no charges of terrorism. There was no terrorism. It was legitimate armed resistance. At no time were civilians or innocents or children or elders targeted. It was resistance against tyranny. And yet the mullahs of Iran are absolutely frightened of a movement with women's equality, women's empowerment, with a new generation, and Islam, which is as modern as the world all around it, that's tolerant, a non-nuclear Iran, an Iran that's respected, popular sovereignty without seeking power. This is what they fear. And so as I look at these posters of these three heroes, Mr. Hanif Nejad, Mr. Mohsen, Mr. Badizadeh, I'm proud to stand with you and suggest that this is just the beginning of a new chapter that was made possible by the sacrifice and honesty of so many who came before. I honor all of you, I honor your relatives, I honor those who came before you, and I'm proud to stand with you. Thank you.